So this is where I'm going to take this whole thing. I think what I want everyone to understand is that it's not just soil health that we're talking about here. That is a component of a bigger picture. It's about farm ecosystems. It's about being ecologically sound. It's about eco agriculture, which is both about being economically sound as well as ecologically sound. And you can't really have the one without the other. You need to be ecologically sound and sustainable and not be reliant on so many other outside inputs and costs, and be sustainable in that sense. And then you're economically sound and sustainable. Eco agriculture. And it's about being regenerative. And I think 2018 is going to be the year of regenerative agriculture. We've been talking about regenerative ag and restoration agriculture, as Mark Shepard calls his way of doing things. And that's the name of his book. And not just permaculture, but regenerating worn, tired, degraded, bad, crappy resources. We, as Gabe Brown says, we don't need to be sustaining a degraded resource. We need to be regenerating our resource. We need to be getting the soil back to its original health, and we just really need to nurture that kind of thing. So that's what it's really about. It's about all those things in the entire ecosystem. And what's an ecosystem? It's also, you look at the larger ecosystem, like the human body, for example, is made up of multiple systems. Same thing on a farm. The soil and different parts of the soil, I should say really different parts of the farm with their various soils, because there's probably more than one kind, or there may be more than one kind of production going on, or more than one use for a piece of land. But the resources have a variety of things going on there. And then you have windbreaks, and you have trees, and you have water, and you have other wildlife habitat, and you've got pollinator habitat and beneficial insect habitat. You've got hedgerows, or you should have those things. A good farm ecosystem is going to have all those things. So you're going to have all these different systems. You're going to have the environment, the climate that you're in. You're going to have the surrounding environment, which is going to have an effect probably on your environment, on your ecosystem. Just like the human body is affected by the things around it. Some things we can control and some things we can't. But we can certainly control what's going on the inside. It's ours. What we own, we have the opportunity to manage. What we own is the thing that we can make work the way it should. What we own, what is our own, ourselves, our property, our farms, is what we are in control of and can make or break. And it's management. You can't just do these things by themselves. You just can't just say, it's intensive management. There's this kind of grazing called management intensive grazing, MIG. And Jim Garish likes to say that management intensive grazing has a very important word in it, and that's management. That's my emphasis by saying that it's a very important word, but that's what he's telling us is not focus. You got to think about that word, management. It's intense management. You got to get out and work it every day. And a lot of it's not hard stuff, but the management of it, you got to be intensive about. You got to be thinking about the results that you're getting with what you're doing. Are you going to change? How are you going to change? When are you going to change? You probably are going to change. You're always going to be implementing something, adjusting something, going out and doing things, making sure that they're working, managing all your resources, people, if you have it. It's management. And we can manage our own health and well-being. We can manage our own farms, our own farm ecosystems. And that's what we're talking about. It's more than soil health. It's all of those things. And soil health is a component of it. So, regenerative agriculture, absolutely. Ecological farming, putting those things into practice, absolutely. Those are the things that are most important for us right now to be focusing on. And it all fits together. We will regenerate our resources. We'll regenerate our farms on our messed up land if we start implementing these things. And it is probably going to start with soil health for a lot of people. And it's got to go beyond just putting in some cover crops. Cover crops have to be part of an overall soil health plan. in an overall farm management plan. But what is the result? Where are we at? What does it look like? What does the soil test tell us? What are the results that we're getting? Where's our soil going? Is it staying on the farm? Is it getting better? Is it getting worse? What do we got to do to make that better? And how do we manage that? Whether it's pasture, whether it's for row crops, whether it's for specialty crops, vegetables, fruits, anything else, perennial agriculture. Perennial agriculture probably is going to do pretty good in the long term because we're not going to be disturbing it very much at all. When we're planting trees and we're planting shrubs and we're planting some other kind of perennial plants and we got pasture out there and we got animals out there, it's probably going to be getting better. It should be getting better. And so that's what we want to focus on. All those things. How do we manage those things? How do we make a better resource to grow better food and be more healthier, better human beings?